Is your vision so big that you don't even know what to do right now? Hey, it's Alex here, the founder of the Vault team. And as you know me, I work with impact-driven leaders just like yourself, helping them build cultures that create clarity, connection, and conviction, resulting in sustainable and rewarding businesses. And like you, I always have big visions. And there have been many times where I've just been so overwhelmed by the daunting idea of, how am I going to do that? Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever actually looked at your vision and what you want to accomplish and what you want to do and the purpose that's driving you each and every day, and you go, how am I going to do it? Like, where do I even begin? Or there's just so much to get done that I don't even know what is important or what's not important. And it actually reminds me of a client that I was working with in the Vault team today, and he came to me with all these massive ideas and all these massive actions that you want to take. And you would think that, wow, this is a guy who's motivated. This is a guy who's driven, right? I mean, people probably tell you that you're motivated, that you're driven, that you're passionate, that people probably want to be just like you. But what they probably don't know inside is that you're feeling so much stress, so much pressure, right? You might have even put your dream and your vision out there. Now you got to get it done. And you're saying to yourself, how? And that's what this client did. He has a very successful business. It's doing very well. It's doing in the 7 figures, but he is feeling so much pressure inside. He's like, what's next? Like there's so much I need to do, and there's so much I want to get done, Alex, that I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know what to tell my team what to do. Like, the business is good, the business is fine, but I have great visions. I have great ideas. I have great things I want to do. I don't know where to start, and I don't know how to do it. So, and this is the biggest problem that I see a lot of people, is like there's a lot of experts out there that are telling you just to focus on your strengths. Just do what you're really good at there. And it's going to happen eventually is that maybe it helps you get a little bit ahead, but eventually it's going to stop. Why? Because your strengths might not be in line with what's going to move your business forward. I want you to remember that, because you are a problem solver at heart. You decided to build this mechanism that we call a business to get your message, to get your vision out there. And that's why you're doing it. You're doing it to solve other people's problems. You have a culture right now that is designed to attract the right audience members, to attract the right team members there. But today, your challenge is this, is that can you get out of this mindset that I only need to focus on the strengths and get hyper-focused on what's going to move my business? So the question is, how do you build hyperfocus? And most importantly, what should my hyperfocus be today? And that's what I want to show you right now. All right, so let's go ahead here. Let's begin here. So what I want you to do is I want you to understand this, is that it's not the idea of doing your strengths, but it's being hyper-focused on what's going to move your business forward. Movement is what we're trying to accomplish, not sitting in our strengths. Because if you sit in your strengths, you're going to start to see this gradual decline, or kind of this maintenance line. So for us to move forward, we got to rise to the challenge. We got to rise to what our business needs now, what our clients need now, what our team needs from us now. So the first and foremost is you got to understand what area of your business needs this hyper focus. And there's really only 4 areas there. 1, you need to focus on your marketing and sales. Do you have enough leads? Are you converting those leads? Do you have enough people that are in the pipeline there? The second is your product and service. Is it getting results? Is it engaging people? Are you getting referrals because people love your product or service? The third is your team and leadership. Are you developing your leadership skills? Does your team enjoy coming to the work? Do they feel fulfilled? And then finally, the fourth one, and not every business wants to get to this, but they get to a point where they want to exit the business, where I don't want to work in the business anymore. I want the business to run without me. I want the business to feel empowered on its own. It's my legacy. This is what I want to leave for people to do. That the work, that the service, that the mission is still going to continue even if I stepped away from it. Now, when we look at all 4 of these pieces, the first question is you got to ask which of those is the most important. So we always start here. Sales, bottom line, is the most important line in your fiscal responsibility. Without sales, you're never going to actually be able to grow. So generally speaking, you're going to either focus on this first or this, and then this second. then once you have these two down, once you have a marketing and sales that's generating leads, once you have a product that's actually attracting people, the third is then you're going to build the team around it. Oops. And then finally, you're going to figure out ways how to exit. So if you're questioning yourself, you really have to ask yourself one of these 4 questions. Do you need more leads and sales? Do you want a product or service that's better, that's actually delivering better results? Do you need a team to help to make sure that your marketing and sales is working well and is actually being able to scale with the number of people coming into the business? And then finally, are there ways that you can actually empower others to lead, to actually build upon the mission that you started as the founder of your business, as the impact-driven leader of your business? Now, once you have decided which one of these, there's 3 things that you must do there. And I would actually encourage you to break it down into a 90-day cycle. Why is that? So we talked about this, and you've probably seen some of my other videos there. I talk a lot about culture because I think culture is the foundation, it's the root of your business. Because without a strong culture, none of these tentacles, none of these branches will work. So make sure that if you haven't seen it, go check out some of my other videos. They're incredible. They'll give you some amazing advice and guidance on how to make sure your culture has clarity, has connection, and has conviction. Because once you have that, the rest of these pieces, it makes it a whole lot easier to work within. Once you decide which area it is, okay, there's only 3 things that you really need to be doing within that 90-day cycle. The first is you got to know what skill you need to develop. If you need more leads, then the skill you need to really focus on is lead generation and what mechanism you're going to use to fulfill that box. If it's developing a stronger product or service, perhaps the skill is research. Researching your clients, researching what their results are, researching what they liked, what they didn't like. Maybe it's researching the area so that you can get better knowledge, better skill sets within it. So understanding what skills you need to focus in whichever box is the first step. Once you understand what the skills are, then you need to create a schedule. And your schedule needs to be focused on that area. For those that are in the beginning stages of their business, if you're someone right now who is just starting out or is very young in the business, my advice to you is to be 80-20% on that box. If you're trying to generate leads, great. 80% of your time should be spent on the marketing and sales side. It's going to really help hone your communication skills there. If you're much more in the business, you can probably go a little bit less. You can maybe go 70-30, 60-40, but the reality is this, is that hyper-focus is not about doing everything in the business. See, as leaders, it's very easy to get caught up in the doing everything for everybody in the business and that is associated with the business. Your role as a leader is to direct, to be out in front, to listen to everybody and to take all that knowledge and what everyone's saying and make a decision of where your time and part of your team's time is spent. So once you have that, then you need to create your schedule. So if it's just a one-man show right now, just like yourself, great. Create schedules. What is Monday school? What is Tuesday school? What is Wednesday school? Okay. You want a schedule that's going to allow you to make sure you're developing the skill, and it's going to allow you to so that each day has a very specific hyper-focus in whichever box is most important to you. Now the final thing, once you know what skill is and once you have the schedule, we got to know if it's working. We got to know if we're growing. We got to know if it's getting better. Or do we need to make an adaptation? Do we need to make a change? There's only one way to do that. You need to know your metrics. 2 or 3 tops. These metrics are basically the baseline in terms of helping you understand if what you're doing is working. And there's actually a caveat here that I want to kind of encourage you to do. Most often than not, one of the biggest mistakes people make is they only create outcome metrics. Meaning, if you're marketing and sales focused, then how many sales? How much dollars have I brought in? How many clients have I brought in? The metrics we're talking about here are the process metrics. So if there are stages within the marketing and sales cycle that you want your clients to go through, you need to have a metric for each one so you know the path. If you're trying to develop more cohesiveness with the team, more efficiency with their team, you need to have specific process metrics to see if the end result is aligning with the work that's being done. When you build metrics that are controllable, it makes you feel more motivated and more inspired to get the job done, to get the outcome that you want. So, bottom line, one of the things that I get challenged on, and I think that would worry most people about hyper-focusing is this, is that, Alex, if I hyper-focus in this area, won't all the other areas falter? And here's the quick and short answer to this. As a leader, when one area markedly improves, it has what we call a cascading effect, a wave effect. So once your marketing and sales improve, it's going to start feeding over into your product and service. And once your product and service continues to get better, it's going to feed into what your team and you as a leader need to be doing, as well as what your marketing and sales needs to do. And finally, onto the fourth box. So my challenge to you is this. Instead of trying to do everything as a leader in your business, to try to solve all the problems, all the pain points, make sure you're hitting every single client's need, my challenge is hyper-focus, figure out where your business is today, and create the skills, the schedule, and the metrics that's going to get the job done. You know what's so amazing about the hyperfocus? What's so amazing, it brings this clarity. It brings this clarity that this vision that you've been dreaming about and you just feel to the bottoms of your feet. What's so great about it is that you get to wake up and have this clear idea of what you need to do today. You feel like you're back in control. And that's the best part about it. Once you feel like you're back in control, anything is possible, okay? And now I have a question for you there, okay? So how do we make this hyperfocus work? Well, before even the hyperfocus starts, you gotta know your culture. And listen, it's one of those things I sometimes call the invisible killer, because people sometimes come to me and say, Alex, my business isn't growing the way I want. Alex, I feel like I have months that go up and down like so. You know what, Alex? I'm just discouraged. I'm just sick and tired of feeling like I'm not going where I need to go in my business there. And, I don't want you to feel like that anymore. And so the invisible killer, or this culture, right, is designed to help you find that clarity, connection, and conviction, not only just for yourself, but to understand how your audience is going to see it. So you both match. So it creates what I always call the mechanism, and that mechanism being the business that serves your mission and serves your purpose there. So I want to help you do that. So below you'll find a very short quiz. And please don't mistake the brevity of the quiz for the lack of impact, because within a few questions, we're going to help you better understand where your culture is today, and most importantly, what you need to do tomorrow to make your culture not only just more dynamic and a winning culture, but a culture that attracts the right prospects and clients, that attracts eventually, potentially the right team members for you, that makes you feel like the movement that you want to make is getting done. I want to thank you for being the architect of your business, because it's people like you, it's people with your vision that are going to have the positive impact on humanity tomorrow. Until next time, I'll see you soon.